Waterbury Regional Chamber. This is our webinar with the State Department of Revenue Services to introduce you to myconneCT. So what I'm going to do is turn it over to Jim Politis, who's the Communications Director for the department, and then we will begin the webinar. Jim, it's all yours.
Great, Dave. Thanks so much, and good morning. It's great to see everyone. Dave, first and foremost, to you and to Julie and to Lynn, thanks so much for the invitation. Thank you to Armando Paolino as well, who was the individual who I've known for a while, who connected us as well. So my job today is to introduce the DRS team who's going to be talking to you, and to help facilitate the conversation to make sure we take advantage or best advantage of your time. Here's what you can expect from us today. We're going to give you an agency update that will be delivered by the commissioner first. We'll take time maybe for a couple of questions if folks have it for the commissioner. We're then going to give you a demonstration of our new tax filing and payment system called myconneCT and describe some of the highlights. And then we'll save some questions at the end if you have some questions related to our new system. So that's how we'll run the show today. First up is Commissioner Biello. He's a veteran both of the agency and of your area of the state down there. The commissioner, I think, will agree with me. We've had quite a year, just as everyone has had at DRS and otherwise. But given that, I think there are some exciting things happening at DRS, and the commissioner has set forth a vision for the agency that I know we're all excited about. So, Commissioner, I'm going to turn it over to you as you briefly introduce yourself. I'll get the screens and the slides up on the screen.
Great. Thank you, Jim, and good morning, everyone. I just wanted to thank Lynn and David for having us here today with you. It's always great to be presenting to anyone in the Waterbury area. As you said, I'm from Watertown, so this area is near and dear to me. I'm actually at home in Watertown right now, giving the presentation. So couldn't be happier to present to the Waterbury Regional Chamber. Like Jim said, I've been with DRS today, actually is my 30th anniversary with the agency. So I've been with the agency a long time. I don't like to say that anymore, but I've been with the agency a long time, and I know tax administration. I'm not a newcomer to the agency. I know how the agency works and how it operates. And one of the things that you'll see in the presentation is I'm focused on world-class customer service. That's really the focus of my tenure. I want to make sure that this agency is as responsive as we possibly can to taxpayers. We need to partner with taxpayers, and that's my goal. So what I want to do today is just run through a couple of things with you briefly. I don't want to take away too much time from the presentation on myconneCT that we've rolled out. So I'll just briefly talk to you a little bit about how the agency made it through the pandemic, or is making its way through the pandemic, and what my vision is for the agency going forward. So the pandemic, what a year, like Jim said, what a year 2020 has been. The pandemic was the start of it, and we've been moving through various speed bumps along the way. We had a tropical storm, we had some tornadoes, we had some other things that challenged us as the year progressed. But we've come out of this a much stronger organization. We're resilient. Our workforce at the agency has adapted to these challenges tremendously well. We've got our workforce, almost all of our workforce, working remotely wherever possible. We do still have staff that remained in our offices throughout the year, processing tax returns, processing payments. Those things cannot be done remotely. So we have had a decent number of employees who have remained on site and have worked right through the pandemic. But for those who we were able to provide remote work capabilities to, we did this through a 4-phased approach beginning on March 19th. And we our agency did a tremendous job getting the technology that was necessary out to these employees so they can continue to work remotely. I'm proud to say that we had virtually no interruption in service whatsoever. In fact, our services, I feel, increased. We had more people answering telephones and able to assist taxpayers through this. There was a lot of uncertainty around filing due dates and things like that. So we had our taxpayer assistance through phones and through emails working uninterrupted with no wait times whatsoever. One of the things that we did right away is we suspended all of our audit and collection activity. We recognized very early on the impact that the pandemic was going to have fiscally on businesses and individual taxpayers. So we suspended all of our audit and collection activities right away. First, like I said, out of recognition for what the pandemic was doing from a fiscal standpoint, but also we wanted to make sure that taxpayers who we would typically be visiting were remaining safe and healthy, as well as our employees. We didn't want to put anyone in a situation where they could be put into harm's way. So we did that right away. One of the things that we did, Jim and I worked on immediately, was the launch of our Priority 1 Taxpayer Assistance Program. And this program was intended, again, to recognize the fiscal impact that was occurring. As all of you know, many businesses were shut down, and some actually even remain shut down today. But this program is intended to pair taxpayers up with a DRS professional in order to work through some of those fiscal issues that they may be encountering. If a taxpayer has an existing payment plan and isn't able to meet the payment plan, we want to make sure that we're there to assist them. So we set up a hotline, we set up a dedicated group of employees to handle the incoming traffic to the Priority 1 Assistance Program. And it was very well received. It's been a successful program, and we've been able to help hundreds and hundreds of taxpayers with the issues that they may have had prior to the pandemic and get them on track. The goal is to get them on track and to keep them on track as we move forward through this challenging time. So a great program and one we're very proud of and has worked really well. And finally, the last thing that we did is we got out in front of the tax return filing and payment extensions, not just for individual income tax. We also extended sales tax filing due dates, and we corporation business tax, partnership returns. All of them were extended beyond their original filing dates. Again, all in an effort to provide some relief to taxpayers during this time. I wanted to show you this slide. It might be a little hard to read because there's a lot on there, and it shows just about all 50 states in this graphic, but it really represents what Connecticut looked like during the month of May, when we were right in the heart of the pandemic. And this shows the loss of sales tax revenue during that period of time. And as you can see, Connecticut was in the worst possible situation or worst possible position in the entire country. We had a very significant decline in sales tax revenue during that period of time. And again, this was really due to the business closings that were occurring, business shutdowns, and that type of thing. One of the things that continued to drive sales tax revenue during this period was online retail. We did see some strong receipts from the online retail community, and this really was a credit to the department. We got out in front of the issue prior to the Wayfair Supreme Court decision that mandates collection of sales tax by online retailers. Connecticut was ahead of that, and we did in fact get had a number of online retailers already registered with us. So the receipts as consumers shifted more toward the online retail platform, our sales tax receipts did go up. one of the caveats to this chart here that we have to keep in mind is, yes, Connecticut was positioned pretty bad in this particular period of time, but we were one of the first states, as all of you know, to experience the effects of the pandemic, being so close to New York, you know, the first epicenter of the pandemic, of the virus. We saw the first wave of this. So the states that are better positioned at the top of this graph hadn't yet seen the effects of the pandemic. So you have to keep that in mind. We are seeing some really strong recovery with respect to sales tax. There's definitely a bright light at the end of the tunnel here that we're seeing some very good signs of a very good rebound and recovery. So we're excited about that. So let me talk a little bit about my vision for the agency. My vision is very simple. It's for the DRS to become the best tax agency in the country. And we do that, in my opinion, with four pillars of excellence. First, our people, our commitment to continuous process improvement, modernizing our technology, which is the main reason why we're here today with you, and also, like I said, world-class customer service. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about each one of those pillars. So our people, it's important for us as an agency to have the highest performing and the best trained staff in order to become a world-class organization. So we have a very strong commitment to organizational development and training within our organization. As all of you know, I'm sure you've heard that the state is expecting a large number of retirements over the next year and a half to 2 years. We are well prepared for that at DRS. We've got a strong organizational development effort that's going on. We recently promoted an individual into that role in order to make sure that we have a well-trained staff and that there's a knowledge transfer that's occurring within the agency, so we're able to continue to provide the services that taxpayers expect. One of the, or two of the key elements to our organizational development is diversity and inclusion. We have a very diverse workforce at DRS, and we want to continue along that. Diversity and inclusion is extremely important to a healthy organization, and we're committed to that. And one of the things that comes along with all this is a positive and professional work environment. So we're very committed to our people at DRS moving forward. Continuous process improvement, and the pandemic really is a driver of how we are conducting our business going forward. We could really reshape the way that DRS is doing things as a result of the pandemic and in a modernized tax administration system. Like I said, we are working remotely. We are finding new ways to assist taxpayers remotely. These are all things that are reshaping and improving the way we're conducting our business. So we're really pleased. If there's any good thing that's coming out of this pandemic, we're learning how to do things a little bit better, a little bit more efficient, and there's the benefits that taxpayers are going to realize are tremendous here. We're reviewing every process that we do. Our mail services, you know, in 2020, why are we still delivering paper mail throughout the building, throughout our agency? We're looking at how to improve that. We're looking at how to increase electronic transactions, both financial transactions as well as simple interactions with taxpayers. So those are all things that you can expect from us in the future. We expect increased efficiency, cost savings, and most importantly, a much improved customer experience. And this is why we're here today, to talk about how we're modernizing our technology. I don't want to spend too much time here and take away from my colleagues, so we're going to go through myconneCT with you. What I will say is that we are at the very beginning of a 4-phase implementation of a brand new state-of-the-art modernized tax administration system that puts Connecticut in line with many other states who have this same system. This system is the best system that's out there in the market, and we are fortunate to be in the process of implementing this system. We are confident that taxpayers are going to see much more improvement in terms of their user experience, self-service options. There's just the look and feel of it is just much more improved than what we currently have. So I'll save any more comments on that for Randy and Rick Carter, who's going to walk you through myconneCT. And finally, world-class customer service. This is what I expect, and this is the culture that we are imposing on the agency. We want to make sure that all of our employees understand that we expect nothing less than world-class customer service for taxpayers. We're refocusing our efforts on our taxpayer service division within the agency. We're looking to see how we could improve the services that we provide to taxpayers. One of the first things that Jim and I did back in January is we relaunched what we call our DRS External Advisory Committee. This is a group of external individuals, tax practitioners. We have some attorneys on there. We have some industry people on there that provide us with feedback as to what we're doing well, what we're not doing so well, where we can improve. This is a very valuable tool for us, and I was happy that this was one of the first things that we did was relaunch our advisory committee. I also started up a rulings and regulations section within our Legal Services Bureau. The agency has been a bit lax in providing rulings and regulations on certain tax issues, and I wanted to bring this to a more, I wanted to bring this more to the forefront and have our agency provide rulings and regulations wherever necessary. And just in a general type of a sense, I want to transform the agency into a performance-driven organization. I've tasked all of our managers to come up with some key performance indicators so we can benchmark and see how each area of the agency is performing year over year. Some of our sections had these indicators, and most of them did not, however. I want to make sure that every area is able to tell the public in general how well the agency is performing. So one of the things we're in the middle of right now. And finally, this real-time assistance with account issues, this goes back to myconneCT, and this is something I think that taxpayers will see a great benefit from. We call this a sessions tool within myconneCT, and it allows a DRS employee to see in real time what's happening on the screen with a taxpayer if they're having any issues with their account. So a real efficiency and time saver in terms of the customer experience when they're using our application. So just a couple of things you can expect from us in terms of customer service. So if anybody has any questions at all about the agency, about taxes, I'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you might have at this time before we get into the demonstration on myconneCT. All right, I don't see any questions. That's good.
I don't see anything, Commissioner, in the chat. Maybe something will occur to someone, but you know, it sounds as if to me you might have answered some questions that folks may have had, or they may be holding for some others that on the material that we present. So terrific, Commissioner. Thanks so much. I will pivot now to the second part of our presentation, which is our demonstration of our new tax filing and payment portal called myconneCT. I will turn it over to my colleague, Randy Hariprasad. And we also have a couple of folks helping us behind the scenes as well. Thank you to those members of the DRS team who are also with us. Randy, I'll turn it over to you to get started.
Thank you, Jim. Hello, everyone. My name is Randy Hariprasad, and I work with the DRS. Today, I'm going to share some information about myconneCT, DRS new online portal. myconneCT is a mobile device friendly and available 24/7. For more instructions for filing and paying are available at portal.ct.gov/DRS. Today, I'm going to walk you through setting up a myConnect username, as well as how to file a sales tax return and make a payment. We will also send a secure message to the agency and view a letter sent by DRS. Let's get started. As you can see on your screen, a myConnect welcome page. You will create your myConnect username from the myConnect welcome page. Click the Create Username hyperlink. In order to gain access to your account, you will need to authenticate with a few pieces of information: the Connecticut tax registration number, your legal business name. If you're a sole proprietor, you must provide your last name and one of the following: the Taxpayer Service Center PIN number, a recent payment amount, or a recent tax due amount. For existing TSC filers, if you don't have this information on hand, you can obtain this information by logging into the Taxpayer Service Center. We will go ahead and click Next. From here, you will select your access type. Most taxpayers will select standard access. Only businesses who bulk upload files on behalf of their clients should select third-party bulk filer access types. Now that we have selected the standard access type, we need to enter the CT registration number and the business name. Remember, if you're a sole proprietor, you will enter your last name. We'll go ahead and click Next. Now we will enter the authentication information we have just obtained from the TSC. In this example, we are using the PIN number from the TSC. We'll enter our PIN number and click Next. Now we will enter some profile information. We'll create a username, enter email, confirm the email, some contact information. The securities section will enter our password, confirm the password, and answer a security question. Please note on the right side of the screen, you should see some password hints. Now all of the required information has been entered. We'll go ahead and click Next. Once you have verified the information is correct on this profile summary page, we'll go ahead and click Submit. You will receive a confirmation that your username has been created. You can return to the welcome page by clicking OK. Now that we have created a myConnect username, let's log into myConnect. We'll enter the username that we just created, the password, and we'll click Login. As you can see, the top left section in myConnect displays the business name, CT reg number, and address. On the right-hand side, you will see the name of the person who logged in and when they logged on previously. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Summary tab. The Summary tab displays the tax type accounts that you are registered for, as well as the status of your returns and payments for each tax type. As you can see here, this business has a sales and use and withholding account. You can see that the sales and use account has a balance due and the withholding account has a missing return. We will now look at the Action Center. The Action Center allows you to see any unread letters and messages if available. It also highlights actions you will require to take, such as updating your address, filing a return, and making a payment. Now let's file and pay for a sales and use tax account. We'll click File a Return. This is the sales and use tax form. At the top, some general information about the account is displayed. You can also see the due date of the return as well as the balance. This will be updated once we enter the return line items. In myConnect, returns have steps and break the process up in manageable logical steps. First, we will select the tax rate and then click Next to go to the next step. In this example, we'll choose line 1, enter our gross receipt. We'll say, yes, we have deductions, and we'll click Next. We'll enter our deduction. We'll choose line 15, sales for resale, enter the amount, validate, and click Next. Now we are on the item summary screen. Notice that the total due is calculated for us. In myconneCT, it's important to make sure that all required fields are completed. Otherwise, you will not be able to continue. Let's go ahead and click Next to continue. We have also implemented a step where you must select your payment method. You can make a payment now or pay after filing. The payment method will default to ACH debit direct payment. We will now walk you through making a direct payment. Click Next. We'll enter some payment information, checking or savings, or bank account. We'll confirm the bank account. If you want to continue to use this channel in the future, you will save it as your default payment channel. In this example, we'll say, yes, we wanted to save it as our default channel. In myconneCT, you're also required to type the confirmed amount of the payment to proceed. We'll go ahead and click Next. The final step of the return is to enter your electronic signature. Simply enter your name and click Submit. The confirmation page includes a confirmation number that can be used to find a request later on if you happen to call DRS to locate this transaction. Let's go ahead and click on the Printable View. This is a copy of the return that we just filed. This PDF has the confirmation number, date and timestamp, and the return information for the return we just filed. Notice the do not mail. You may keep this copy for your records, but please do not send this into the agency. Sending in this copy will result in a duplicate return and could slow up the processing of your return. Now we will close this tab and return to myconneCT. Let's see what else myconneCT has to offer. Let's click on the More tab. The More tab lists additional actions that the taxpayer can take, including viewing submitted requests, such as payments and returns, manage payments and returns, submitting bulk files for different tax types, viewing letters. Every taxpayer has a digital record, which is a benefit that we do not have today. Viewing messages or sending messages, view or manage your access, and make any taxpayer updates, such as managing names and addresses or closing your accounts. Let's walk through the steps of sending a secure message to the agency. We will request more information how to pay the taxpayer withholding account. In myconneCT, when you send a message, you will be able to provide additional details so that the message can be directed to the appropriate DRS staff. Once you have included all the details of the message, we'll go ahead and click Submit. You will receive confirmation that the message has been sent to the agency. Let's go ahead and click on the Natural Health hyperlink in the top left return to the previous page. In addition to sending and receiving messages, taxpayer can also read letters that DRS sent to them directly. Click on View Letters hyperlink in the correspondence group. Here you will see a list of letters that you have received from DRS. Open the CT tax reg number confirmation letter. Here you can see an exact copy of the letter the DRS sent. This is a great feature, and we are really excited to give you the option to view letters from myconneCT. Let's return to myconneCT and log off. I'm going to go ahead and click the icon on the top right and click the log off hyperlink. This concludes our demonstration. You have just learned how to create your myConnect username, file and pay a sales tax return, send a secure message, and view a letter. Now you're ready to create your myConnect username and set up your myConnect online profile. Thank you, and I will now hand this over back to Jim.
Thanks so much, Randy, and excellent job. As we have been doing these presentations to different groups, some common questions have typically been raised. What we have found pretty helpful is going over a couple of the highlights just in terms of closing notes to leave folks with. So with that, what I'm going to do is pass it over to another of my colleagues, Rick Carter, who is going to give you just a couple of thoughts as we close the presentation. Rick, please go ahead.
Thanks, Jim. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rick Carter, and I'm going to reiterate some key points, add a few tips, and then just close out this segment. As a reminder, if you file returns or make payments for any of these phase 1 tax types, sales and use, business use, withholding, room occupancy, prepaid wireless E911 fee, admissions and dues, tourism surcharge, rental surcharge, and dry cleaning surcharge, you will use myConnect. But if you have a filing that is not part of phase 1, such as a corporation return, you will file using your current method. Therefore, the possibility exists that you will be using myConnect for one set of taxes and the TSC for another. For those so inclined, we have FAQs and easy-to-use tutorials available on our website, which can be found at portal.ct.gov/DRS. Under most popular, just click the myConnect link and select either the FAQs or tutorials menu options from the myConnect information page. Of particular interest to you will probably be one of the following tutorials, which is creating a myConnect username and filing a sales tax return. And speaking of myConnect username, when accessing myConnect for the first time, you will need to create a myConnect username. In order to do so, you must have one of the following: a tax registration number for the entity, the name of the business or the business entity's legal name, and one of the following: Taxpayer Service Center PIN number, or a recent payment amount, or a recent tax due amount. If you don't have the PIN, you will need a tax due amount or payment amount from a recent return in order to authenticate. Some final notes here going down the home stretch. myConnect has a dedicated hotline available with DRS staff ready to assist if you have any questions or any issues. myConnect is mobile device friendly. As a result, you can use your smartphones and tablets to file, pay, or contact the department 24/7. And be advised, phase 1 tax types are now disabled in the TSC, and it can only be filed via myConnect. And what's next for myConnect? DRS is continuing to modernize both our internal and external tax systems, which will be done with multiple phases over several years. In the coming months, look for correspondence from DRS with information about phase 2. That concludes my part. Jim, back to you.
Excellent, Rick. Thanks so much. And David, Julie, once again, we really appreciate the opportunity to talk to your members. Commissioner, who I see is still with us, is really focused on building these types of relationships and communicating with those who certainly have business before the agency. So at this point, David and Julie, we're happy to take any questions about a piece of the presentation or what may have occurred to you, any initial experiences that a member or members may have encountered. But we would open the floor to any questions that folks may have.
Okay, so if anyone has a question, feel free to turn your camera on and just kind of raise your hand, or you can just type it into the chat. I don't see any questions at the moment, so we'll give people a minute. Now, this has already been up and running, right?
Yeah. So yeah, great. Dave, thanks for that point. Yes. So we did officially launch on the 21st. Commissioner, you had mentioned to me a couple of numbers just of folks who have encountered the and have even gotten in and filed returns already. It was thousands, was it not?
From what I understand, Jim, yes, there's been about 58,000 users that have created profiles already, and about 60,000 returns have already been filed. So, and the feedback, the initial feedback, the early feedback has been great. We've got some great feedback from users already that say look and feel is great. It's easy to use, very easy to go in and set up profiles. So we're extremely happy to hear the very positive feedback that we've gotten so far.
Okay. Well, I don't see any questions, so I guess there aren't any. So let me just thank you, Jim, and thank you, Commissioner, for joining us today. We appreciate that in the presentation. And if anyone has any questions that you think of after this is over, if you want to email them to me, I'll share them with the department and they'll get back to you. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Thanks to the department for their presentation. And we did stream this on Facebook, so the video will be available on Facebook. We'll also post a video on our website, so anyone who wants to come back to it will have that ability to do that.
Terrific.
Great. Thank you again to everyone thanks to the Waterbury Chamber for having us today. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay.